What's up guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and this time we are talking about the infamous Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera that is due out October 5th, I believe was the last time I checked. Today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why I myself will not be purchasing the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K at the moment. The first reason we're going to talk about is practicality. For me, the camera itself is not a very practical camera. It does a lot, it's a very powerful camera, but at the same time, it's almost overkill for what I do. I post a lot on Instagram, I post a lot on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and those platforms don't necessarily cater to high quality videos. YouTube more so than the others. But for me, I'm mainly posting on Instagram, and Instagram downscales everything. Instagram makes everything look like crap. So there's not really a desire for me to have a stronger outputting camera for the platforms that I'm focusing on. That's one of the reasons why I shoot on the GH4. It's very functional, it's very compact, it's a very on-the-go type of camera. I can put a lens on it really quick, I can slap on a microphone, and I'm good to go for whatever the case is that I need to do. I don't need to worry about having a ton of extra things when it comes to that camera. It kind of does everything that I personally need it to do in one package, and it fits the mold for what I'm catering to, which again is Instagram, social media, and not necessarily the highest quality of videos. Reason number 2 is going to be the usability of the camera, which I kind of touched on a second ago. For me, I shoot a lot of gimbal work, so I'm shooting on my Zhiyun crane quite a bit. Almost every time that I have my camera out, I'm using my gimbal. So with that being said, it's a little bit difficult to have a camera that requires, at least for my situation, an external monitor and maybe even a couple other things to make it really function to the point that I need it to. And that again is because I'm so run and go. A lot of times I don't have a ton of time to set up things or get things ready to go. I'm coming in, I'm shooting a couple things, and I'm leaving. And I just don't feel like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K fits that bill. Now, who's to say that when the camera comes out and I can actually get my hands on one, that I might change my mind. But at this moment, those are 2 reasons why I will not be purchasing the camera when it releases. The third reason is the price point. The price point of the camera is amazing. In fact, it's cheaper than my GH4 that I'm shooting on right now, and significantly better. However, for me, what I would need to run the camera is sort of where the price escalates to something that doesn't make a ton of sense, again, for what I do. So let's hop over to the computer and take a little bit of a closer look at exactly what I would need to run a similar setup to what I have right now. So taking a look at the camera itself, Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema Camera 4K on B&H. New item coming soon, expected availability is October 5th, 2018. The price point of the camera itself is amazing, so let's not question that at all. $1,295 for this camera is fantastic. I mean, just given the product highlights right off the top page, 4/3 size HDR sensor, records DCI 4K, dual native ISO to 25,600, 5-inch touchscreen display, record up to 120 frames per second, windowed HD. It's fantastic, it's amazing. And at this price point, you're not going to find a camera that's going to give you all of those features. So that's not a question at all. But again, I'm a very run and gun videographer. I'm using my gimbal a lot. I'm coming in, I'm shooting, I'm leaving. So to run this camera exactly how I am running my setup currently is what we're going to be taking a look at. So just keep that in mind. As we go through these products, maybe some of these may not apply to you, but these are for my specific situation based off of what I currently have. So starting off with memory, this camera runs the CFast 2.0 memory cards. That's one of the options. As far as brand, I'm a big Lexar fan. It's just what I tend to use in my camera currently, so that's what I went ahead and took a look at. And the going rate for these is $339.99, okay? So that right there is a pretty large amount for up-and-coming videographers or people like myself who are amateur, in between amateur and professional. And so this was kind of the first moment of like, okay, this may be not the camera for me. With that being said, I'm also really cheap. So I would probably ultimately end up going with these UHS-2 SDXC memory cards that the camera can also run. Again, this is by Lexar, and the price on these is $192. So we are going to be looking at both of these memory cards just to give comparison on both situations. Hopping over to batteries, the battery that this camera runs is the Canon LPE6N. It's a lithium-ion battery, and it's priced at $64. So this would be the battery that I would pick up for this specific camera. Last but not least is a external monitor. Now this is not something that I currently have on my setup. However, as I mentioned earlier, where I am running on a gimbal, it would be very difficult for me to use the Zhiyun crane with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K. You get the point. It would be very difficult for me to use that without an external monitor because of the way that the screen is positioned. If you've ever used a gimbal, and especially if you've ever used one upside down, a lot of times that back end motor is blocking the LCD screen that the camera naturally has. So therefore, if I were to get this camera, I would most likely order an external monitor because I would need to mount it onto the handles that I have for my crane. And I went with the cheapest / best one that I could find in the moment, which was the Blackmagic Design Video Assist HDMI 6G SDI recorder and 5-inch monitor. The price on this is $495. So if we go ahead and take a look at this price breakdown and we kind of get a little bit more into it, we can see here the camera itself, $1295, CFast memory cards, $339, UHS 2, $192, batteries 64, monitor 495. I went ahead and broke the quantities down to, again, what I currently have in my setup. So I have one camera, that's what I would be getting. I have 2 memory cards that I actively run, so I would need 2 CFast cards or 2 UHS 2 cards, as well as 3 batteries, and then 1 external monitor. So if we price that out, we get a grand total of $3,000.44, and that's including the UHS 2 cards and the CFast cards. So this is give or take about $400. So grand total somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,500 out the door to get me set up to where I'm currently at. So let's flip back around and just talk about that for a quick second. All right, so with that grand total of $2,500, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money when it comes to video cameras and video equipment. And if you are into videography, then you know that. In fact, the camera that I'm shooting on right now, with the lens and everything combined, it originally was around that price point. The difference for me is the usability of the setup itself. For $2,500 with this setup, I get something that's very functional, very easy to set up, very quick to maneuver. For $2,500 with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, I don't get as much of that usability. I have an external monitor I have to worry about. I have larger cards that I have to worry about, larger memory cards that I have to worry about, and overall just an experience that's not as user-friendly as what I'm currently running. So for me, those are the 3 reasons broken down as to why I will not be purchasing the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera when it initially comes out. Again, I think it's a fantastic camera, and I think for a lot of people out there, it's going to be an amazing tool to either up their video game or increase the level of quality in their videos, or just to start out with given the price point. However, for me at this stage in the game, it's not the camera that I'll be going with. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any comments or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. You can find links to all of the equipment that I personally use in the description box, as well as all my social media channels. So be sure to check those out, and be sure to subscribe for more content. I'm posting 1 to 2 times a week, so I hope you guys enjoy the videos and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.